to have back with us today Ron Gerard. If you are a Facebook subscriber and you go on to Leominster Today or Leominster United or Leominster My Hometown, you have seen him recently. Well, actually, no, you haven't. You've seen half of him recently because he's been, since September, on quite the journey, which we're going to have him talk about. So Ron has been involved with many activities here in the community. He's been upstairs with the Leominster Historical Commission, Leominster Historical Society. He works down, or he does some volunteer work also down at Leominster Access TV. He's always at various community events, filming and things like that. So he's well known around the community, and again, more so now probably than ever because he's out and about every day. So Ron Gerard, welcome back to WLPZ 95.1 FM.
Well, thank you for having me, Mary Ellen.
So glad to have you.
And I wanted to say welcome back to the station.
Oh, thank you. I just suspended the interviews for a while during the height of the virus, and now that I'm vaccinated, and I feel much more comfortable in inviting people back in and letting them know that it's all safe to come on in here. So we're good to go. We're going to start just for a little bit, Ron, and talk about what led you back in August to begin this weight loss journey.
Okay, so back in August, the first part of August, I had an appointment for an MRI here in the city of Leominster, and I couldn't get into the MRI machine, so we had to make an appointment to go down to Worcester, and that was my breaking point where I knew I had to do something about my weight. And when I had a follow-up from the MRI, I talked about it with my primary care doctor. We discussed many plans, including weight loss surgery. And I said, no, I don't want to have weight loss surgery. And I told her about all the different programs that I tried over the years. And we discussed the ketogenic lifestyle because I had tried it a couple of years ago and I was somewhat successful on it, but I wasn't doing it the right way because I didn't have enough research. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing I want to point out before we even talk about any of my journey. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't make any medical claims. I have done all my homework. I've done all my research, and this is going through my primary care doctor. And if I got a problem with anything, I could call the nurse up and I talk to them over the telephone. And before you start a journey like that, make sure you clear it with your doctor first.
Because as we mentioned earlier, what's a good diet for someone might not be a good diet for the next person.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And make sure you do your homework. And it's very important to do your homework and plan, prep, and prepare. And that's what I've been doing.
What did you find out about in your research? What did you find out that you hadn't known?
That I was kind of doing it all wrong. What I learned from my journey is portion control and what I should be eating, how I should be eating, and the amounts I should be eating. I told you earlier I make everything from scratch. I use a program called Carb Manager. I measure all my food on a scale. In Carb Manager, there's a setting. There's a free app and there's a paid app. I got the paid version. It was like it's $39 a year for the paid version, and what that basically will let you do, you scan items that have barcodes on them, and it knows what the calories are and everything. You can create recipes with that, and then so when you initially sign in the Carb Manager, you punch in all your numbers, your weight, your height. It asks you your goals and all that good stuff, and it tells you exactly how many calories you should be eating to reach your goals, and how many macros and protein and all that good stuff. And since I'm at the beginning journey of I don't call it a diet. It's a program. It's a weight loss journey.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. Thank you. And it's called the Ketogenic Lifestyle. It's really it's a low carb diet. It's based on a spin-off of the old Atkinson diet, and I was even on that for a little while too back in the 70s. But it's been absolutely wonderful being on this weight loss journey, and I'm in a much better place. And it's hard to explain, but from all my Facebook photographs that I've been putting up of myself, I'm happy, I'm smiling. This is the first time in my life, other than probably when I got married and when I was first born, I'm happy. I'm happy.
And that shows through in those photographs that you post of yourself. And when I saw you today, and I haven't seen you for a while, it's so evident. It's so evident. You're so much more confident.
Yeah, and I feel confident. I'm very, very good at what I'm doing. I'm very, I know what I'm doing, and I'm very passionate about what I do.
And Miss Denise has just walked in. Hello, Denise.
Hello.
Hi, Denise.
Wow, I didn't think you'd get out of work until 4:30.
No, full.
Oh, good. Well, welcome.
Welcome back.
This is half of Ron.
I know.
Yes, we have.
Um,
I talked to you a little bit.
why did you choose the keto rather than like Weight Watchers?
Well, that's a good question. Glad you asked me that.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was doing a lot of research, and when I talked to my doctor about it, she said, well, do your research first, and you come back to me and tell me what you want to do. And I went on YouTube, and I started typing in keto, what, the best diets to be on, and all that stuff, or best weight loss programs. And when keto came up, I met this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady. She actually changed my life.
Oh, gosh.
Her name is Jessica Freeman.
Oh.
She's got a Facebook support group called Keto Rewind.
Is she local?
No, she's from the. She lives in Texas. I'll talk to you about her in a second, and her story. So she has a YouTube channel called Keto Rewind, and I absolutely fell in love with this young lady. She's 30 years old. She's married. She's got 2 kids, and she started her and her husband were. She was 309 pounds when she started her journey, and her husband was 325 pounds of my weight. So they both went on the ketogenic lifestyle together, and she documented her entire journey all along the way. And that was the other thing about I wanted to mention too, that when I talked to my doctor about all this, and I said, and when I trusted my faith, I wanted to for me to have my best chance to lose weight, I put myself out there publicly to be accountable for my weight loss journey and my weight. So when I saw Jessica Freeman's YouTube channel, her and I talk quite regularly, and the biggest thing you can do when you're starting a weight loss journey is try to find somebody to do it with you, or get involved with a support group.
You need support, yeah, absolutely.
And you need to be around positive people, and get rid of all that negative energy that's been eaten up inside of you over the years, like I did. I don't let anything bother me anymore. I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. I enjoy inspiring other people. I just love life. So getting back to Jessica, she lives in Texas, but she does have a summer camp up in that mountain up in New Hampshire there, Mount Monadnock. I can't pronounce that word,
good.
but she scaled that 2,000 feet summit last year, and when she lost all her weight. And she did this too without weight loss surgery. And the biggest reason why she wanted to lose weight, Mary Ellen, is because she's got 2 little kids, and you want to play with your kids, and you don't want to be tired.
You want to be around for them.
And that was mostly part of her biggest reason why she wanted to lose weight, and plus to be healthy. And so we started talking one day, and she said, Ron, how would you and your wife like to come to New Hampshire this summer? And so they got a camp up in New Hampshire. She was about 10 minutes away from that mountain. And so this summer we're gonna get together with her family, and I challenged her. Her and I are gonna scale that mountain together.
Oh my God, Ron.
And I'm gonna be contracting out my neighbor downstairs. He's a videographer like I am, and he's gonna videotape the whole thing for me with a little bit of video drone, and it's scaling up to the 2,000-foot summit.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to that.
So Ron has this bucket list, guys, and that's on it. But there's something else that's on it too. He told me about earlier. Tell me, what was that second thing?
Okay. So I always wanted to skydive, and so Massachusetts has a weight restriction. You have to 225 pounds is the weight restriction. Now I'm only 25 pounds away from reaching that skydiving goal, which is going to happen in August on my anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And my uncle Robert passed away in January, and he was my godfather, and so his wife, my aunt Jeanette, when I went up there to give my condolences to her because of COVID-19, I couldn't attend the funeral and everything. And I said, Aunt Jeanette, how do you feel about skydiving with me? She's 83.
Oh my God.
And she says, yeah, I'll be happy to skydive with you. And I said, just think of the nice memory of you leaving your children and your grandchildren. And she asked the grandchildren, Adeline, if she wants to skydive with her. That she doesn't want to skydive, but she's I'm paying for everything, and I'm going to have it professionally videotaped. And what I want to do is kind of like time it. So when we go out the airplane at almost about the same time, we're going to do like a high five in midair. and I'll have this all videotaped,
Oh, my
professionally
God,
videotaped, and I'll just do the video editing on the voiceover and why I wanted to skydive,
That's so
and
cool.
that'd be a really nice memory. I'm not afraid of heights.
Yeah.
I look forward to the day I die. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna push it, but this is something I've always
Well, I'll
wanted.
tell you though,
This
when
is
I
something
lived
I
in
always wanted to
Galveston,
do.
Texas, I always wanted to skydive too, and there were about 7 of us that went and took the lessons.
Yeah,
and
now every
everything.
now and then I'll go on
No,
YouTube.
we got up there on the
yeah.
plane, and I think I was number 5 of 7 to go. So
Yeah,
first, second,
every-
when Gabe came to me and they said, "Okay, jump," and I'm like, "No."
every-
They said, "You gotta jump. You're holding up the people behind you." I'm like, "No, I just couldn't do it."
Yeah, every now and then I'll I went on YouTube and I see somebody's first time skydiving and this sounds fun. And,
Oh,
and then
God.
one girl said, if you're gonna do skydiving, don't do like I did. I ate a whole lot of pizza before I went
Oh,
skydiving,
no,
and
no.
it didn't hold too well in the stomach when she landed on the
Oh.
ground because you do like a free fall,
Yes,
like
you do.
a 360,
Yeah.
and I'm really looking forward to this. This is something I really
Wow.
wanted to do so bad
Well,
all my
the
life.
ex-president George W. Bush, he went. He
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
90.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
So gosh,
yeah.
there's no age limit on that for sure.
Yeah, and then
So-
there's another thing. I told Mary Ellen earlier. I've been inspiring an awful lot of people to lose weight. This is. I can't talk about another thing, but when I had a situation and came back, I started inspiring a lot of people to lose weight. So I went down to Shoreland Farms last week, and I met this guy. He says. He got out of his car with his wife, and he said, "Are you that guy that puts up all those photographs on Facebook?" And I go, "Yeah, that's me. Why?" He says, "Who are you?" And he pulled his jacket over his shirt over here, and he showed me he had a balloon logo. And he says, "I'm Bob. I'm the guy that does all the balloon rides." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And he said, "Well, how would you like to come at me in either at the end of May or the first part of June to go for a balloon ride right here at Shoreland Farms?"
Oh, my God.
And I goes, "Well, how much is this going to cost me?" And he says, "For you, nothing, because."
Oh my God.
He said because before you, he said last year he had COVID-19 for a few months. He really didn't know if he was going to come out of it, and since then he's been getting out there walking because of all my posts.
Yeah.
And he's walking every day with him and his wife. He's getting he feels a lot better, so he invited me to go in the hot air balloon.
That's so
And then I asked him about a lot of questions about it. And I'm going to be filming the whole thing when we do this because they start setting up around 3 in the morning.
Oh,
And I talked to my aunt about that. She wants to go there, but she wants to do some photography of us taking off. And then I asked him, "How do you get back and stuff? Because if the balloon goes to Boston, I'm not walking back from Boston." No, but he said his wife tracks him down with the GPS, and they follow us. So no matter where the balloon lands, that's where the pickup point is.
How cool is that?
And I'm looking forward to that almost as much,
Look at the
or probably
things you got
more
coming
than
forward.
that. Yeah, yeah.
In your journey so far, what has been your biggest challenge?
There hasn't been any biggest challenge. I
Really?
just enjoy it. I enjoy life. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy you know me. I can't shut up sometimes. I can't. I'll just tell you. For instance, it was tomorrow's my wife and I's 30th wedding anniversary.
anniversary.
Thank you. And we went up to Barbara's Crossing, and the waitress, she was ready to order, and I was ready to order it, so I ordered what I wanted, and then I started talking about my weight loss journey, and I thought she had ordered already, and the waitress said, "Okay, are you ready to take our order?" And she said, "I'm waiting for your wife." And I told my wife, I thought you ordered. No, because you kept yapping, But that's the way I am, because I'm so
Yeah,
excited
you are.
about everything.
One thing you said earlier before we went on the air I thought was really important. You said there are going to be slip-ups,
Oh yeah,
but that's okay.
That's okay. So, when I've done a lot of research, I follow Dr. Oz, Dr. Berg, and on my YouTube channel. By the way, I do have my own YouTube channel where I post weekly videos and daily videos every time I go.
So when you go to YouTube, what do you do? Just plug in your name?
Ron's Weight Loss Journey.
Ron's Weight Loss Journey.
Okay. And I have over 100 videos posted, and I strongly suggest subscribing to my YouTube channel, because a lot of people, subscribing, it's not like a monthly subscription where you got to pay a monthly fee. It's free. All you're doing is just acknowledging that
Somebody's watching it.
when I post a video, you let my other Facebook, YouTube subscribers know that I got the latest video.
Yeah.
And I have 110 subscribers,
Yeah.
which when I put myself out there publicly to lose my weight, I put it on YouTube, and I didn't even know. I didn't know where it was going to go to right now, but I realized that I'm on a mission to lose 145 pounds and inspire people to lose weight. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that I didn't know, people actually, at some point when they do YouTube, they can actually make money on it after you reach a certain number of subscribers.
Oh yes, it's absolutely. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and so many hours of viewing time,
Okay.
and then YouTube starts paying you for that. Yeah.
And how long have you had the YouTube?
Just 35 weeks.
That's it?
Yeah.
Did you start it right away when you started the diet?
Yeah,
or
absolutely. Yeah,
afterwards?
yeah. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a YouTube channel or not, but you know what? To put this, I wanted to be accountable for my journey, and I wanted to document my journey.
I think that's great.
And what I would recommend if you do want to start a weight loss journey, even if you don't feel comfortable about taking photographs, take as many photographs of you from the beginning as you possibly can, because you're going to appreciate those when you're done with your journey. And even if you don't want to put them up and share them with
They're
anybody,
yours.
you'll have it for your own record.
Yeah.
And you've seen Mary Ellen, you know from me over the years, I've been a videographer for the city, for the great city of Leominster,
Yeah.
the beautiful city of Leominster that we live in. And we got photographs of me down there at Carter Park, and you saw how big I was and how little I am now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a photograph of him here in our studio that you wouldn't even know was him.
And you can tell by my voice and I'm
But it's
always
not
smiling.
just the physical body either.
No.
It's the whole persona.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your smile, it's the brightness in your eyes, everything is so much more enhanced.
Well, I feel like it's hard.
You're a new person.
It's hard to explain. Okay, well, without getting too much spiritually involved with this, I have an aura, and it's always glowing around me, and it's my spirit following me, inspiring other people, and that's how I feel what's going
that's
on
so
with me right
good.
now. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such a good thing.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but my arms are really
Yeah.
flabby. So at some point we're going to have skin surgery, but we'll worry about that when we get
That's
to that
right, that's
point.
right.
You know.
So we talked earlier also about, restricting food is one thing, but, you hear all the time, well, it's also got to be in combination with exercise. And you've also begun a journey of walking.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, last month I put out a walking challenge for 50 miles. If anybody was healthy enough to follow along with my journey, and I actually last Friday I completed. I didn't complete, but I hit the 50-mile challenge with a week to go, and
For the month of April.
for the month of April,
wow.
and that's only the second time I've ever hit
Wow.
50 miles in a month. Because don't forget too, we had cold days in the month
You
of
were
April.
out there anyway,
and I was
though.
out there
Yep.
anyways, and when I can't go there, I go to the gym. I join the local gym, and I go down there.
Good.
Yeah, 24-hour gym. I can go there anytime
Yeah.
I want. So in the month of May, what we got coming up in the month of May, we're doing a 100-mile walking challenge, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fundraiser for the hungry, or maybe the animal
Oh,
shelter or something like
fabulous.
that. And so if anybody wants to,
Yeah.
and you don't have to make it 100 mile, but just do the best you can.
Yeah, or do a sponsorship or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
exact-
that.
That's exactly what I want to do is
Yeah.
do a walking mile challenge for anybody that might want to join me in the month of May. I do fasting. I do intermittent fasting.
How often do you do that?
I do it every day. Intermittent. There's different
So, like,
types.
do you eat during a certain hour?
Yeah, I'm going to explain what that is.
Yeah.
So basically, since day one on the ketogenic lifestyle, like again, you have to do your research, and if you need my help, private text me, and I'll help you and follow me along, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. This is all based on my journey now. I do intermittent fasting. I do what's called a 16-8 intermittent fasting. So basically, what I do is I don't have anything to eat between noontime. I mean, my opportunity to eat is between noontime and 6 o'clock at night. After that, I cut it off.
Wow.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I have my 2 coffees in the morning, and then I drink my 64 ounces of water throughout my day, because you have to have water,
Yeah.
okay? And I eat according to my program. Now, my program, I do 20 net carbs of grams a day and 1,700 calories a day. It doesn't sound like it's a heck of a lot, but it's what my plan calls for. In Car Manager, when you type in all your numbers, it tells you what you can eat and according to your
And as you're
schedule.
losing weight
And as you-
over the
and-
time,
and-
it changes,
It
right?
changes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
every about once a month, when I know what once a week actually, I'll go into the settings and I'll put my new weight, and it because as you like with me, we're 80 pounds less than what I was when I started. I no longer need 2,700 calories to
Absolutely.
maintain
Yeah.
my weight and
Yeah.
to lose it. So I'm eating around 1,700 calories right now a day, and I'm fine with that. Yeah.
How has it affected other aspects of your health?
Everything just get better. I don't. I'm sleeping 110% better. I'm sleeping longer hours anymore. I don't have sleep apnea no more.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everything's been good. Getting back to the fasting now. I've done it 23-1 fasting. That eat once a day. That's
Wow.
kind of tough.
That's
okay,
hard.
I didn't like it. Okay,
Yeah.
because it restricted me too much. But I
Yeah.
did it for a week, and I said I'm going back to the 16
Yeah.
8 fasting. And then we got another one we're thinking about doing. We're thinking about doing a AD fasting. What that means is eat one day, fast one day. Eat one
Okay.
day, fast
Yeah.
one day. I mean, nothing to eat, period. And so we'll see what happens with that.
Wow.
And then I also do a beef and butter fast.
Yeah, you wrote about that. I didn't know what that was.
Okay, so beef and butter fast basically is it's like I was doing like 12 ounces of beef and cooked in butter and you could say if you want a ground beef hamburger or like a scrambled hamburger, I do scrambled hamburger, okay, and I weigh it up. I do like 12 ounces, and I take 1 tablespoon of butter and I melt it in the microwave with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder, and I use pink Himalayan sea salt, by the way. I don't use any more than regular salt. And then I put everything else, seasoned bagel in it, and then I mix that up and I put that on the ham, and it's to die for, really. So then I do another fast, and I've had somewhat success with that, but I had better success with the egg fast, and I really love the egg fast. I'll do the egg fast for 3 to 5 days, and
What does that entail?
6 to 8 eggs a day, and you can fix them up any way how you want to fix them up, and so many ounces of cheese, and I got all that on my YouTube channel I talk about. And the first time I did it, which was last month, and I'm planning on doing it again this month, I lost 12 pounds in 6 days.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and
Do you
it wasn't
find
just
that when you lose that much so quickly, do you then like gain a couple back?
Oh,
and-
no, because what happens is if I do, like for instance, in the month of May, I want to do it, I'm doing a 7-day egg fast, but I'm going to do it for 5 strict days, and then 2 days, 2 days of transitioning, because
Okay.
you just don't want to jump into the carbs right away.
Right.
So you're still going to have an egg and maybe have a hamburger or something like that before you start jumping into the regular keto foods or the
Yeah.
regular diet foods.
Right, so any foods that you miss or?
No. So getting back to the shaffles, they're kind of like mini waffles or mini Eggos, the Eggos that you buy in the grocery store. And if people only knew how easy it was to actually make those. So I contraction of a recipe that I created. 2 slices of the ultra thin cheese. It could be any cheese you want, and you lay it on the dash after it heats up. And if you're using 1 egg, usually makes 2 shaffles, and you can mix that up on any condiments that you want. You pour your egg mixture on your bowl. You put another slice of cheese over the egg mixture, and then you close your lid. And 3.5 minutes
sounds
later to
good.
4 minutes after the light goes out, you got a golden brown shaffle. You saw the photograph that I
Yes, I
posted.
did.
So I made these mini shaffles, and the first time I made them, I made BLTs with them and replaced the regular bread.
You can eat any kind of meat.
Any kind of, basically. And then the second time I made them, I made mini pizzas. I took some sugar-free pizza sauce, put a little bit of sauce on the shaffles and mozzarella cheese and some pepperonis. I bought these mini pepperonis, the turkey pepperoni, and put it on, and I put it in the broiler for 5 minutes here, and the cheese is nice and boiling and melted, and now you got a small little instant bite-sized pizzas.
Sounds good.
And that you can eat a half a dozen of those and not feel guilty.
Yeah.
You know without half the carbs.
I know you've mentioned it a few times, and you're right. Anyone who's thinking of going on any kind of a weight loss diet, you need to check with your physician first, make sure it's going to be something that's safe for you. But what advice would you, once that happens, and somebody has made the decision, what advice would you give them?
To do your homework, plan, prep, and prepare, and
And don't give up.
don't give up.
Yeah.
If you're going to serious about doing this, I would get rid of all your junk in the house.
So, on to a different subject, or an alternative subject here. Another thing that you've just blossomed lately is in your photographing Leominster.
Oh, thank you.
What led you to this?
Well, it actually runs in the family. My uncle Paul was a photographer, a local photographer in Leominster for many years, and then he went into the military, and then he when he married my aunt, he moved out to Connecticut, and he stayed with photography. And back in early 60s, my grandmother, when I was about 8 years old, she bought me a little Kodak
Oh,
camera.
yeah,
She
yeah.
tried to get me into photography, and I didn't like it at all. And so a few years ago, when I got involved with the radio station, not the radio station, but a few years ago when I got involved with the Leominster Access Television, I totally fell in love with video.
Mhm.
And then I fell in love with photography again. And as a historian, I like to go around the city and taking photography of the buildings and put together video presentations with the history of Leominster to preserve it for future generations. Because I may go down to tomorrow or today and take a couple photographs of the downtown, the buildings, and what if you get a fire and something happens to that building?
Absolutely.
You know, so you know.
Between you with the photographs and Mark Bedanza with his history lessons, we're really preserving our history, and that's so important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't have a photographic memory like some people do, but I do the best I can do. You know, I don't pretend to be an expert on anything I do, but everything is all just based on practice and error, you know.
What I like about your pictures is you combine, like you said, the architectural Leominster
Right.
with nature. I love your nature pictures.
Yeah, I don't just isolate it to the buildings and the structures. The buildings are really the hardest thing to photography and get it straight and get it right because you're dealing with traffic and pedestrians. And I try to, I avoid taking photographs of people if I can. And I absolutely don't take any photographs of children, by the way. That's very important not to do that. And so I'll go out, for instance, down to Barrett Park, and I'll just, you know, anything that looks interesting to me, I'll take photography. And I mentioned to you that I found a new hiking trail. I'm really looking forward to the hiking trail in Leominster being completed.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I found one in Sterling this past week, and we went down there, and that was absolutely beautiful. But then as I'm driving down to Sterling, and I'm taking a left down to the fire station. Behind the station, they got a nice gazebo, and they have concerts on Monday nights, and I want to start going to those concerts to be a part of the audience, not a camera guy. And because knowing me, usually I'll go up to the camera guy and ask them if they need help, you know. And I don't want to do that when I'm there. I want a night to enjoy yourself. But as I was driving through Sterling, we're going back over there Friday. I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to start taking photography of the buildings. And so now it's. I don't want to just isolate myself to Leominster. I want to start exploring other cities and towns, and just taking photography because even going like New Hampshire and Maine and those type of places, and just taking a lot of photography and video because I have a passion for that.
Well, and when you really think about it, historically speaking, especially this area of Massachusetts, Mark has shown us through his history lessons, in the day, we were all one community. It wasn't Leominster, Fitchburg, Gardner, etc. We were all incorporated into one and then split off.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Doing the history of the surrounding community is also important to our history.
Yeah, and that leads me to tell you that I've been working on a project for the Historical Commission, and I'm doing a updated version of the Changing Time series, which is the Past to Present series. So we have
Is that the one where you like get in the time machine? And
well, sort of. But we have some books that dated 1900 Leominster of today, from what Leominster looked like from today. In fact, the street right across the street, the Church Street Exchange, we have a nice photograph of what that looked like on 1900. So what I do is I go out to those exact locations. I try to match up the photograph to the camera, and I'll do a comparison. Now, when I was up Sterling this past week, I took a photograph of what used to be Hebert's Candies.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yes,
and
it was right near a drive-in.
Yeah,
right?
you could clearly see all the changes that were made to the new version compared to what it was back in the 1950s when Henry St. Sr. took that photograph. So
Is he still
no,
he's not alive.
he's been gone for a few
But he
years.
left his photographs.
Yeah, his family donated all the negatives to the commission, and that was before I had gotten there, and I had got permission from them to use them just as long as I credit the photographer and the place where I posted from.
Yesterday you had some photographs on of something called the Livingstone.
Oh yeah, the Livingstone is a place up in Leominster. It's off of Wachusett Street, just past the Grandview Country Club. And if you're coming from Elm Street, it would be up on your right, and it comes up pretty quick. And it's open to the public from 10 in the morning to dusk. They just ask if you be respectable. It was created by Bob Teller and his wife Carol. That she still live in, and she lives in the house that's over there. And these are all stone structures, and they're still expanding the property. They're expanding it all further back. They got a nice big dome over there, and every one of the structures have Bible quotes on it from the Bible, and it's quite emotional. And when you go there, I'm very, very touched, and I reconnect with what I believe in. Yeah.
So it's very inspirational.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you hear about that, or did you just kind of happen upon it?
Okay, so last year when I bought a dash cam,
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing some.
Yeah, you took us down the streets, and I saw
I
that.
was doing.
Yeah.
I was doing during this. Now this is during the early days of the virus shutdown.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do something. So other than photography, so I bought a dash cam, and I said, well, I'm going to start, narrating on it. I'm going to go on all these roads in Leominster, and I'm going to talk about what I can remember as a kid growing up and stuff like that. And so I'm going down Wachusett Street, and I came across this gate over there, and just for giggles, I drove in to see what it was about, and then I found it by accident.
Wow.
And I've been I'm a Leominster native. I was
Yeah.
born in '56, and when I found this place, I was like really blown away by it. Because who could have created all
Yeah.
this? For people to enjoy. It kind of reminds me of Stonehenge up in England.
Oh, interesting.
Because the stone structures are that huge.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. It
yeah.
sounds so peaceful.
Yeah, and as you walk, now you can drive in, okay,
Mhm.
but I like to just walk. And to the left, they got picnic tables, and that's new from last year. They didn't have the picnic tables there, and they got portable bathroom if you got to use the bathroom, and it's
So who cares for that? Is there a
the
church anywhere?
trustees. It runs
Oh,
by,
neat.
and there's a website, the Livingstone Trust, the Livingstone. So you just type in that, and it should come up to the website.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
The other area that you've done a lot of photography at that I just find, I've never been there and I need to go, is Evergreen Cemetery.
Oh, really?
It sounds so fascinating to just go
Well, there's a lot of history in Evergreen
Yeah.
Cemetery. So my friend Mary Marada, she absolutely loves cemeteries, and I wasn't really crazy about them at first because I always thought they were kind of creepy,
Yeah.
But when you're a historian, there's so much history there for the people that were part of our city and our culture over the years. That's Mark Fidanza. That guy is marvelous.
Oh,
there. He's got such a
incredible.
photographic memory, and he's
Yeah.
very interesting to listen to, even the books that he writes. So you want a nice gift for somebody, buy
Yeah,
one
in
of
fact,
his
he's got a new
books.
book coming out next week.
Yeah, and so when I go with Mary, she teaches me so much about the cemeteries, the stones, and the markings that are
Yeah.
on there, and stuff I never even knew about.
Has she ever taken you to I went by there the other day, and I've always wanted to stop. That cemetery that's down near where Atlantic Union College used to be.
Yeah, we stopped there last year.
That looks like it's so old.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest ones in Massachusetts.
Really?
Yeah. We went down there last year. I think if it's the one that you're talking about, that I'm thinking it is. We called that the Frog Pond.
Really?
Last year, Donna and my wife and Mary and I went down there to do some photography
Yeah.
on one of the gravestones, and there was a pond, and we almost fell into the
Oh
pond
my
walking around it, and I almost lost the camera in the pond.
no.
And all of a sudden, there was like about 100 frogs that came out of the pond, and they're riveting at us, and so we called it the Frog Pond. It was pretty funny.
Funny.
And then there's, I go all over the place walking. I've gone down last week. I went down to the Dexter Drumlin up in Lancaster. It's off of I forget the road it's on, but it's you just do the research on Google it. But it's right in Lancaster. It's a beautiful. It's all hill. You walk it,
Wow.
and I did about 4 miles that day by myself. I saw somebody doing they were doing a glider because I asked somebody. I thought somebody had a hot air balloon there. He goes, no, it's a glider. So he was trying to do hand gliding down that hill. So and that was that, and my absolutely favorite place is Shoalin Farms. I'm always down there
Yeah.
hiking, and I love the Doyle Estate, and that's another favorite place of mine. And we're so blessed, Mary Ellen, in our city to have all these hiking trails, and even when you do street walking, I mean, I find that a lot of people are courteous. So I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And it was just funny because when you mentioned about accountability. I had a cheat day one day, so don't tell the Keto
We're
police.
telling. I'm calling that lady in Texas.
So we wanted to go to that place that was Kentucky Fried Chicken before in the past. That was now it's another chicken place. So I posed in there with my wife Donna and my friend, one of my friends there. I think it was Tom Bissett. I'm pretty sure it was him. So he started beeping his horn and he goes, "Ron, what are you doing? That's not part of your diet." You know. So I was glad that he acknowledged me because he made me realize that when I was in there to make sure I got something that I could have that it wasn't going to affect me too much.
But see, that's because you have, like you said, you put yourself out there.
I put myself out
and
there.
So now you have to be accountable. So people who see you maybe doing something they think you shouldn't be doing are saying to you, "Hey, Ron, what are you doing?"
Yeah, and I mentioned that to a lot of people. Once again, I'm available for help. If you need my help, just private text me. Say, "Hey, Ron, I heard you on the radio station, and I love your YouTube channel, and you know, I need your help." Or say, even if you don't want to do a weight loss program, if you're having problems with alcohol or drugs or something like that.
Because everything's an addiction. That's all an addiction.
I mean, I struggle. We all struggle with different things in our lifetime, but my struggle always been big. I started going back. I have a video called "The Blame Game" on there. You know, you have to watch the video, but on the blame game, I was blaming it on my aunt because what happened was when I was about 13 or 14, she was picking in my food when I was young, and I didn't like that, so I isolated myself from the family and I ate in my room.
Oh, wow.
And nobody would want me when I was eating, so I just ate what I wanted, and next thing you know, you got a weight loss problem, a weight gain problem, you know, and but thinking back, I don't blame game on somebody else. The bottom line is you ate the food. Nobody forced it into your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do something about it if it bothers you that bad. And I made up my mind and I wanted to lose weight and be healthy.
Yeah, and at the same time, we talked about earlier too. You know, people who've never had a weight problem,
right,
will say, "Oh, it's easy. Just push yourself away from the table." But that's not it.
No, it's not that easy.
You know?
I would once again, if you're going to lose weight, I would suggest doing your homework, plan, prep, and prepare. If you're a busy mom or parent, and I don't get time to prepare food, well, take like a Sunday.
Freeze everything.
Prepare all your food for the week and put them in these little containers and measure out your food for the week, and you're good to go. That's what I do. And I'm not even a parent.
Right.
And, you know, I plan, prep, and prepare my meals for the week.
Yeah, that's good.
You know.
Do you see? How do you see this affecting you in long term? In the sense that is keto the type of diet that you can stay on long term?
Absolutely. And I often get that question asked to me. He said, "Ron, once you get down to the weight loss goal, and my weight loss goal is 180 pounds, I might take it down further than that. Are you going to get off of keto and go back to regular foods on maintenance? But you want a maintenance program?" And I goes, "Absolutely not. I absolutely love the ketogenic lifestyle, and because I'm fixing foods healthy way. I got rid of all the bad foods, the processed foods, and I'm cooking everything from scratch, and I absolutely love it."
I was just going to look up just out of curiosity because there is if I'm not mistaken, the keto diet is built on the premise of your body going into ketosis.
Yeah,
that's correct.
That's correct.
So that's what it's going to say. Yeah, it says it's a term for a low-carb diet like the Atkins. The idea is for you to get more calories from protein and fat and less from carbohydrates. You cut back most on the carbs that are easy to digest, like sugar, soda, pastries, and white bread. Yeah, so I thought that's what it was. Your body goes into ketosis.
Yeah, so basically you're burning fat for fuel, and that's why I've been so successful. And I bought I always wanted one, and I bought a Mojo meter. Basically, what that is it's got the strips are very expensive, so use them sparingly. So if you're like on a tight budget of money every month, like most people are, just send out. That big company that begins with an A, you know, that we order from that company a lot. And so what you do is you wipe your finger with alcohol, make sure your hands are clean, and you prick your finger with the meter that comes
Yeah.
with it, and you take a little a strip and you put it in the meter, and it measures out your ketones and your glucose,
Yeah.
and it tells you whether or not you're in ketosis or not, and it tells you what your sugar levels are. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I got a video on that
That's
on
really
on
cool.
YouTube and how to do all that.
And you've never previously had any problems with diabetes
No,
or
no,
pre-diabetes?
no. I've been big all my life,
But
Mary Ellen, but I
This sounds
never
like
had.
you won't have that problem either.
Exactly, I never had a problem with
Yeah.
diabetes. It ran in my family, but I never had it, and I was never a smoker. I don't do alcohol, and I don't do drugs. You know,
Yeah.
I've been very clean, other than just doing overeating. You know,
Mhm.
and the other thing, the ketogenic lifestyle has taught me is portion control. Okay. A lot of times your eyes are always bigger than your
Oh, yeah.
stomach, and you fill up your plate, and you know, and I don't eat like that no more. I eat just the palm in your hand now. Just when
They always say use a smaller plate.
I eat now, and when I'm full, I stop eating. That's it. And if I'm hungry, and if I want something like a regular grind, I'll give you a for instance. My wife had an appointment one day. We were running late. We didn't have anything ready in the house, so I stopped and got a regular grinder from the regular pizza place. And I hadn't had that, mind you, in about 7 months. I felt like I died and went to heaven, but it left such a heavy feeling in my stomach. I felt sick for 2 days because I hadn't had that type of
Yeah,
foods.
that bulk.
You know. So
Yeah.
these are some things you got to be careful and be aware of. If you just can't do it like night and day. Switch a light off and switch it on.
Right,
You know.
right. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, it's just been absolutely, you've just done an amazing, you should be so proud of yourself. I know everybody who is following you,
Yeah.
either on YouTube or Facebook, is so proud of you. I mean,
Yeah, and
just-
like I said, ever since the virus shut down, I started putting up a good morning quote, and people seem to be
Yeah.
enjoying it. I
Yeah.
make my own. I've been getting some off of YouTube, and Google it, and
Yeah.
then I'll just mix and match them. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making any
Yeah.
money from it
Yeah.
or anything like that.
I used to do that when I was teaching. I used to put an inspirational quote on the
But
blackboard.
if
every
it's
day.
if it's a direct quote like somebody like Martin Luther King, then I'll put the name,
Oh,
the
yeah,
author's
yeah.
name on it. But it helps people to get through their
Yeah.
day, and why not?
Well, you've been an exception to the rule because in this day of the virus, where people have been inside for such a long period of time, there have, just like when you that first year of college, the freshman 15, people have gained weight during this virus.
Yeah, and I did the opposite.
And
I
you
lost
did
weight.
the opposite.
Yeah. I'm so proud of myself, and to being able to get out there and inspire people to lose weight and get healthy, and like Dino said, some of his morning briefings. A lot of these clusters are coming from people just staying at home because they're afraid to get out there, and you got to get out there and move. You got you got.
And you've been doing it all very safely. So
Yeah,
it's not-
and I've been doing it in January and
Yeah.
December, and raining days, snowy days, icy days. It doesn't make any difference.
where in the past you might have woken up and said, "Oh, it's too darn cold. I'm not going today."
Well, in the past, they probably would have ordered a large pizza,
Yeah.
and I probably would have ate the whole pizza by myself and lay down in
you
bed
had a
and
2-liter thing of soda and
wake up about 2 hours later and
comatose.
and they'd be hungry again for something else.
But you don't.
I don't do that
You don't
stuff
find
anymore.
yourself having those hunger pangs.
No, I don't.
Wow.
Absolutely not. It's the journey, Ron's weight loss journey, has been absolutely a wonderful experience.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I like I said, Mary Ellen and Denise in the back room, and anybody that sees me, I've been so happy. I'm just happy. My body's.
I expect you to break into song at any minute.
Yeah.
That's the way you look.
Yeah.
Well, let me remind everybody out there that you can follow Ron on Facebook. You can follow him on any of the Leominster pages, like Leominster Unite or Leominster My Hometown. And again, the name of your YouTube.
Ron's weight loss journey video vlogs, but if you just type in Ron's weight loss journey, you'll find it.
So, guys, let's support Ron here. And I actually talked to him earlier. He's thinking about and would like to very much purchase a camera, a very expensive, good 35mm camera.
Actually, I want to get a Canon M50. They were
Yeah.
up there around $700.
$700. I told him to start a GoFundMe page. So many people are following you that, even people donated $1 each. But that's a little strange sometimes. I think for people to say, but
so-
but I can't tell you how proud we all are of you, and that
well,
we
thank
hope
you.
that your journey continues to be as successful
Well,
as it is.
My mission in life when I when I went on the other side and I came back and I had that choice, and so when I came back and I realized what my mission was, and my mission was to get healthy and to inspire other people to become healthy,
You've done that.
and that's what my goal is.
You've definitely done that.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, so I like I said, I love what I do, and
Yeah.
I love talking to people, I love meeting people, I love life.
So much,
I can't explain
you
it.
always have, but now it's so much more obvious.
Yeah.
So much more
Yeah.
evident. I mean, your whole face is just,
Yeah.
you're glowing in a way that you didn't glow
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I
You know?
feel like it's like I said. I have like a purple aura on my
Mhm.
face, and it's just
And
yeah,
if you think that sounds weird, people, it's not. We all have our own aura.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So yeah, absolutely. And that's what I enjoy doing. And
Yeah.
what I've been so proud of, Mary Ellen, and everybody, is the fact is I'm 64 and I did it without weight loss
Yeah.
surgery, and I'm going to continue doing it without weight loss surgery. And I just want to get healthy, inspire other people to get healthy.
Yeah, and you've got all these goals, the balloon
Yeah.
ride and
Yeah,
parachuting.
and the 2,000-foot climb up the
Monadnock,
mountain. I
and-
think this coming
yeah.
week now, next week the weather looks absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
And I said
wow.
to mention to Mary, I want to go back up to Shoulder
Yeah.
Palms, and I want to go walking. Now last year we went up to the Devil's Walk up in you, people from Leominster know what I'm talking about. It's called Pulpit's Rock.
Hmm.
And it's got a mountain goat trail that it's kind of steep to get
Oh,
up
wow.
there, but I did it a couple of years ago with my friend Mary, and normally it takes her about 40 minutes to get there and up and back. It took me 4 hours that day to get up, and I was
But
in
you
rough
did
shape
it.
that day. I did it, and I haven't done it back since,
Wow.
and I'm going back up there, and with or without her, anybody.
Yeah, just to see your
But
stamina.
I could do it, and
Yeah, you will.
with all this weight loss now, I'm walking like a mile or 2 miles. The other day I was just telling you I did 7 miles in the city of Leominster.
That's amazing.
I went down Union Street, I went down Central Street, I went down all the way to
Wow.
Litchfield Street at the bottom of Union, all the way down to Lancaster
Oh,
Street
my
and back.
God.
Yeah,
Jeez, oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. But here's my issue. When I'm walking, I'm taking photography, and I
Yeah,
love
so you're
taking.
stopping and-
So normally the normal person would take maybe 2 hours to do that walk. It took me 4 hours because I like to take photography.
But look at the memories you got to go with it, too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. Well, again, I wish you, so much success, and we're all so proud of
Well,
what
thank
you've
you.
accomplished so
I
far.
just really enjoyed coming here. I wanted to
Yeah.
thank the,
Oh,
the studio for letting me come
Like
in.
I said, you're my first returning interview, and I
But
wanted to definitely have
I'd
you
like
on.
to thank Sonny and Denise
Yeah.
and you and
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Denise.
the WLPZ family for letting me come in here. 'Cause
Well, and we are a family, and you've always been a part of this family, too, so.
and everybody that volunteers here,
Yeah.
But I just enjoyed it. I mean, like I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm not a medical doctor, but this is all based on my journey. So if you follow me along on Ron's weight loss journey on YouTube, and I'm also, it's the other thing, I was thinking about doing a Facebook support group.
Mhm.
So if anybody wants
that's a good idea, too.
but yeah,
That's a
we're
good
still
idea.
thinking about
Yeah.
that, because we're still
There's
kind
all
of
kinds of
halfway.
opportunities.
We're still kind of halfway there in our journey.
In good time, all in good time.
Yeah,
Can't do everything at once, gotta just kind of
yeah.
ease it in.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
like I said, if you want to follow along and you want to start a journey,
Yeah.
check with your own doctor first,
Yeah.
and remember what's important to you. You want to get healthy.
Yeah,
and,
set your priorities.
I don't criticize anybody about being overweight or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And my highest I ever weighed, Mary Ellen, believe it or not, was when I got married. I was 400 pounds. Yeah, I was quite big. But my wife saw something in me.
Yeah.
And she didn't measure my body weight.
Mhm.
She saw what was
Your
in my
heart.
heart.
Yeah.
We've been together ever since.
Yeah, 30 years plus now.
39 years
30,
actually. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Long time flies.
Damn,
Yeah.
you were together before.
Yeah, I asked the girl at the restaurant the other day. I said, "Well, who needs a medal more, her or me?" She started laughing at that. She said, "I think your wife needs a medal, for medal of courage
Oh,
for
that's
being with
funny.
me." Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Ron, thank you so much,
Okay,
ladies and
thank
gentlemen.
you.
This has been Mary Ellen here at WLPZ 95.1 FM, your community radio station. We're also streaming at WLPZ.org. I'm not sure that's working right now, but you might give it a check. And you've been talking to or listening to Ron Gerard, and he's been telling us about his keto weight loss journey and his interest in photography and the places and locations and nature of Leominster area. And so we thank you again, Ron, for coming on.